Hello and welcome to the Data Break Podcast, episode 65 for the week of October 20th, 2016. I'm your host, James Lynn. With me today, we have Taylor Kelsey.
Santa Barbara. That's where I am. We had to restart this. It's hard for me to just say the same things.
Regions. We need Bay Area.
I'm in the south now. James is in the middle, and then Max is in the north.
Hello, no relation. I'm in center of allergy world, Sacramento.
Are you getting allergies, Max? It's like it just rained.
All year long, my nose is slightly stuffy, and I always have phlegm. Only in Sacramento. Like, I could breathe better in LA, and that's saying something.
No, actually, it is something about Sac because I go home and like the minute I enter the city, my eyes get puffy. Like I feel so sick. It's gross.
Why? It's not like what is there? It's not like we're just surrounded by cotton trees or something.
We should burn down all the trees.
I think we should burn down all the trees. He's got a good line of thinking there.
Yeah.
Only you could prevent a large city virus
by burning shit down. And how hot is it in Sacramento still?
It's pretty cold. Like this morning was like in like high 40s.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I'm not. See, so I moved from Sacramento to Santa Barbara when they're about the same temperature. So now it should be getting colder, but it's not because I'm in Santa Barbara and we don't have any weather.
So what was the low today?
Today was actually like, Sacramento summers are like 100, 105. Today was like 82, and I'm like, fuck this.
It's just super hot or super cold?
Yeah, it felt super hot. Because I guess I've transitioned. It's like 82. Kill me. Because it's almost like room temperature every day. I know, it's like 72 every day here, almost.
Wow, that's...
And then I brought like 4 jackets down. I don't think I'm ever going to get to wear them, because it's never going to get cold.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it gets kind of like... It's, like in the desert where it gets really cold at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same here where like there's nothing, so you don't have any insulation or anything, so when it gets cold, it gets pretty cold.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it doesn't really get icy or anything. I mean, it's October. It's October, and it's still not like good fall weather.
Yeah,
I don't know. We don't have anything to prove it's fall weather. We just have palm trees. Nothing changes. There's no indication.
Yeah, it sucks, but whatever. Anyways, how you guys been? You guys been other than allergies? I'm sure. Yeah. Santa Barbara treating you well, I assume.
Loving my life here. It's really slow actually, because the counselors told me to take only 3 classes because I'm due to quarter system, and they're like, "You're gonna fucking go crazy." But basically, I just finish my homework every week at Tuesday, and then just sit and stare at the wall for the rest of the week. Like I don't have anything to do. It's way too easy.
You think that you'd get like more free time, like less free time in college because you're busy, but
no, not so
No.
far. I'm sure. I'm trying to challenge myself. I have one job. I'm getting another one soon.
Don't do what I did, Taylor. I'm taking 4 classes. And I was taking 4 classes before, but then I saw a class that I kind of wanted to take open up, and I should not have taken that class. That class is like the hardest class to take in my major, and it's kicking my ass right now. Sorry, Max. You're a robot
in the middle of it?
Yeah, I joined 2 weeks late, and I've been playing catch up ever since, and it's absolutely
that sucks.
A lot of sleepless nights. I spent like until 1 a.m. On campus last night trying to get work done.
I have no problems with
finish
that.
Catching up?
Sorry,
you finish
Max?
Catching up?
No, are you kidding me? It'll do today. No, so I mean, sometimes if you could afford to take it easy, like do so, because
I don't
you
want
never
to.
know when you'll get the
Spending
chance.
too much money to be here. I want to get everything out of it.
Well, I mean,
don't make
yeah,
it too
that's
hard
true.
either.
I don't know. I've had this transition this summer where like if I'm not doing something productive, I just lose my brain, lose my mind.
No, it's true though. It's true though. Like I think today today was my first like day that's why I'm podcasting today, because one reason why we haven't had a podcast in the past few weeks is because I've just been super overloaded with schoolwork and trying to not get eaten by animals in my apartment. But like I just haven't had time to get everything. Like I haven't had time to podcast because I've been just doing schoolwork. And like now that I did, like earlier this afternoon, I was just like I didn't know what to do with myself. I just ended up playing like Battlefield. It was kind of weird.
Battlefield 1, right?
4.
Not
I
quite.
haven't. Yeah, that comes out tomorrow. I don't know if I'm gonna get it.
Battlefield 1 coming out though, right?
It is. It's coming out like tonight. Yeah, in like 2 hours.
Titanfall should be coming out like in the next 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, EA is.
It's video game time.
Yeah, it's video game time. Yeah. Speaking of video game time.
Oh yeah, let's switch up topics.
Let's switch the Okay, you stole the segue from the deleted footage. I just needed to say that so you didn't get credit because I said that.
Okay. Yeah. So the big news coming out this morning. You know, I know I spent up till last night, 1 a.m. You know, doing work, but I still woke up early this morning just so I could catch the announcement this morning. No, I watched it after.
Yeah, you don't need to be on a live stream to watch a trailer. You can just watch a trailer whenever you wake up.
Yeah. So, assuming no one like spams you with messages to spoil what happened, which whatever.
No.
But yeah. So the big news coming out this morning is that Nintendo is releasing a new console out in March. That's really soon. If you think about it.
Yes, it is.
That's 5 months.
Almost 4 if it's early March, because it's late.
Oh, that's right.
Wow.
That's crazy. I'm gonna say 5 months though.
I mean, they have been
that's a
working on it
safe
for
bet.
a while, though.
That's crazy. Like the announcement between announcement and launch, that's nuts. I mean, well, let's think about PS4, Xbox One. Those were announced at E3, like they always are. And
no, they were not announced at E3. Yeah. They had their own They only had their own separate things.
Oh, did they?
Before E3, yeah.
Oh, but then and the details were fleshed out. But then they were released before the holidays, sometime November, right? If I'm correct. So between April, May to November, that's like 6 months, 5 months, 6 months. So I guess it's not too far off.
Something like that.
Yeah, but okay. So before we start analyzing the heck out of this thing, let's give it a quick rundown. Taylor, why don't you take it away and see what were your big what were the big details that came out of that trailer?
It is a fully portable and transitional console. It is half Wii U, half 3DS, but no, not 3D, but like it's portable. Like here's an at-home component with the controller looks like the gamepad for the Wii U right now, and then you can basically take that gamepad apart, where you can take the sides off where it's controllers, and you can just take that outside the house and do whatever the fuck you want with it. Like the people like playing basketball and playing that game or something in the trailer, like random things for people. Really, not really realistic scenarios for people playing it, but the proof of concept is still good.
To a party.
Yeah, to a party. That's
taking party gaming to a whole new level. Yeah.
It's interesting because the rise of couch co-op again, with games like Samurai Gun and Towerfall and you name it, Gang Beasts.
Spelunky. Well, Spelunky just makes you want to kill your...
not part of it. Yeah. That's not like it's like competitive. Like people are once again want to play games next to each other, and that trailer like actually showed people playing games next to each other wherever they are.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. I can just say little random things I noticed, where the controllers are on the side of like an iPad screen. You can take them off, or you can leave them on. If you take them off, your iPad screen has a kickstand, so you can just play with the controller away from it, or you can put the controllers on the screen and play like it's a gamepad. So there's versatility with slick ass design. I thought those controllers looked slick. Sliding on and off seems awesome.
They do look a little awkward to play on. Like they look
it's like when you have the two sides of controllers together separated from the screen, it just looks like a weird ass square that you have to try and hold somehow.
Well, I mean,
you could also attach them to something that is shaped like a gamepad.
Yeah, there's like a gamepad attachment. Well, I'm thinking like, okay, so in the split screen mode, right? You take one off each side, and then you hand one to your friend, which I think is cool because I know a lot of the consoles when you sell them, like they come with one controller. Yeah. But with the Wii, the Switch by default is two
How many
controllers.
games can you play with half of a controller?
Well, I mean,
That's
well, when you look at it, I thought of it as a smaller Wiimote. You know,
yeah. I was getting flashbacks to turning the Wiimote on my side because I forgot to get. I thought I lost the nunchuck, so we could play Smash Bros together.
Oh, yikes!
I'm also the casual who forgot to get GameCube controllers.
GameCube controllers.
But,
yeah, and you.
That's another issue entirely. But yeah, I mean, it does look a little awkward, but I mean, it's cool that they, right out of the box, you have 2-player co-op, 2-player split screen or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Another cool thing that came out of that was, again, Taylor, like Max said, there's the weird controller attachments. It's also compatible with the regular Pro controller from the Wii, I think. It uses cartridges, right? Just like a 3DS. Do you know if those cartridges are exactly the same as the 3DS? I don't own a 3DS or anything.
I don't think so. I mean,
is that what they were putting in that? Is that the cartridge?
3DS?
Mm-hmm. I really think the 3DS is in the past now, because they really have to unify with we're building every game for the Switch, not the Switch and the 3DS, which also does the same thing as the Switch does. They have to really commit to it in order for it to be sold.
The 3DS is insanely popular, though.
Yes, but so is the Xbox 360, and they still made the Xbox One. If you want to sell a new thing, you have to abandon the old thing.
That's true. What else? So I think the one notable thing about this was that I didn't see any kids in this trailer.
That's true.
All the Wii stuff was like, all you and your family can play. On the Wii U, they tried to do that again, but
it failed.
Yeah, that failed.
Well,
that's a whole different conversation as why the Wii U failed. But now they're abandoning the family thing because the fact is your family lives in the same house. You don't need the portable console for the family instead of like with your friends who you don't live with is what they showed mostly in that trailer. Or if you want to walk your dog and play Zelda at the same time because you're a bad dog owner. Deal with doing one thing at a time.
Breath of the Wild there.
Yeah.
Just Pokemon. It's Pokemon Go, but real Pokemon and real going.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't like. It was all just like young adults.
Yeah.
I thought it was strange, and then I think like and then the other big thing was that the games that we saw that were playing on there.
Mm-hmm. There was a Zelda. There was a Mario. You looked like a fucking Skyrim. What the fuck was that thing? Was that Skyrim?
That was actually Skyrim.
Yeah, that was actually Skyrim.
Why?
Probably
why?
Yeah, they're probably bringing Skyrim remastered to the Switch.
But since that console, since the screen is detachable from the console, and you move it like, you just go anywhere with it, all the guts have to be in that little screen thing, right?
I know.
Yeah, dude, that's the crazy thing.
What are the specs in that shit?
No.
Do we know?
Hold on.
We'll get there in a sec.
Previous gaming tablets were able to have the original Skyrim on them, like the NVIDIA gaming tablets and such. So
right.
And the Nintendo Switch is using NVIDIA tech. So
okay. So
they got the hardware.
The original Skyrim is 5 years old, though. We don't want. You're gonna have the Nintendo game looks like 5-year-old game.
That much better.
The remaster doesn't look that much, but I mean that being said,
that's beside the point.
Skyrim looks pretty good. I mean, it doesn't look horrible. I mean, it's a little blurry, yeah, but like for playing on the Wii. I keep wanting to call this the Wii, but the Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch.
The Nintendo Revolution.
The name is kind of.
That's what they're going to call
weird.
the Wii.
It's better than the
Nintendo
Wii
Revolution.
I
think the name Switch is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I love that name.
I think it's okay.
That's so cool.
I don't think it's the best. I don't think it's like the best name they could have said they could have used because it's a little like ambiguous.
It sounds like drug slang. Hey man, give me that Switch. Like it's awesome.
So this was powered by an NVIDIA Tegra processor. So this is like it's like the same type of chip that would be in your phone. That's the weird thing. So earlier this year, it was last year. Sorry, let's backtrack just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
last year or maybe 2 years ago, NVIDIA announced that they had their own tablet, an Android tablet called the NVIDIA K1 tablet or something. It was actually really well reviewed and it was really nice. It was a really nice tablet. This year, earlier this year, NVIDIA was expected to release a new one when it turns out that they canceled it. They're like, oh, NVIDIA's canceling their Shield. And everyone was like, oh, what happened? What's going on here? Also, last year, they tried to release this home console thing called the Shield console. It was like a weird Android TV type thing where you could play games on this little Android set-top box. The interesting thing was that NVIDIA was working with companies like Valve and Unreal to port games onto their platform. So like you could have played Portal, Borderlands, I think, some other games and
Doom
stuff
3?
on this. I think Doom. What, Duke Nukem you said, or
no, Doom 3.
Doom 3 and some other games on this Android tablet, which is kind of cool because I mean these are like full games on your Android tablet. Right, they're a little old, sure, but I mean, the fact that you're playing games on your Android tablet at all is kind of interesting. So, so this year rolls around and NVIDIA cancels their Shield tablet, and everyone's like, "What's going on? I don't know why. Why would they do that? It was a pretty good tablet." And I guess this is what they did with it, right? So this is not running. So it's kind of strange because with the new console generation, we were all saying all these consoles are basically PCs, right? They're built exactly like computers.
Yeah.
And of course, Nintendo is always the one to switch things up and do something different. And this time they're going the mobile route where they're using cell phone parts, basically, to run their console.
Yeah.
Which I think is the future. Like, mobile's everywhere, right? I mean, I hate to sound like one of those guys, but mobile's everywhere, and mobile's pretty much the future as far as computing is for the mainstream user. And two, like, that's crazy that you could play Skyrim on like Portal, like on the go.
Yeah.
Like gaming laptops can't game for that long, you know?
So, but that does beg the question, what is the power supply on the controller when it's not attached to the home base?
They just announced it, dude.
True, but I mean, like,
yeah.
Let's see. This is a home console experience. It's supposed to be, as far as rumors say, more powerful than the Wii U. Yet, if you play that on the go without attaching it to a power source, I really doubt it's gonna last a long time.
All right, I'm gonna delve back into the nerdy hardware stuff again, and so this is powered by NVIDIA's new Tegra processors. So
is this they announced, or is this based on the fact that this is a tablet that they got from before?
NVIDIA, this is from the Switch. NVIDIA had their own separate press release for the Switch, I think. So this year, NVIDIA has really been doing some good work as far as their architecture goes, and the new graphics cards are really fast. But another thing that people don't really talk about too much is that how efficient they are. They're super efficient. Like they sip power like no one's business. Like they don't consume any power. I'm looking at my graphics card right now, my new 1070, and because I don't have any games running, the fan just stopped running because it's running cool and it doesn't need to do anything. So NVIDIA's new architecture is really efficient. So I believe that NVIDIA thought their stuff was good enough, and I guess Nintendo also thought their new architecture was good enough to throw into a tablet to, play video games on the go for that long, which that's crazy.
Yeah.
If they could pull it off, I'm excited.
Yes, the big thing for me here that we haven't talked about yet is that Nintendo, their developers, are unified onto one thing. You don't have to buy two things to get all their games, which is a huge plus.
Not to mention, if you do play on the go, you still get a full home experience that isn't chopped down for, like improved frame rate or anything. It's just the full game.
Yeah,
Actually,
depending on what the hardware,
I'm
how
curious.
everything goes.
Like, if you look at the footage of that unannounced Mario game, that's pretty good looking.
Well,
Yes.
I mean, every that video was like spliced. They took the footage and kind of
Totally.
pasted it on.
That is true.
It's probably edited or heavily edited, but yeah, it does look pretty good. And it'll be interesting to see the resolution of that tablet because it's kind of small, right? It's like 7. It looks like 7 inches, like iPad mini size. Do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so.
So I'm thinking that like if it's like 720p, if it runs at 720p on the tablet and then like 1080p or whatever on a TV when it's plugged in, like I think that's perfect.
Is there any hardware in that weird like taco receptacle that he puts it in?
Taco. We'll call it the Switch Taco. Yeah.
The taco switch.
Let's call it that.
The taco switch. Yeah, the taco switch. The switch box. Switch box.
Sure.
Yes. Yeah. Switch box. It sounds.
The Lego hand that holds the rest of the console.
Anyways, like the switch box, I like maybe it might have some extra horsepower in it to push it. That'd be cool.
Maybe, or it's just maybe the tablet just runs on a lower quality for power conservation when it's not attached.
That sounds like a nightmare for developers, though. Can you imagine? I mean, I know they're already doing it with
like
Sony.
With laptop. But... No. Like some people on Reddit are speculating it's just running at 720p when not attached to a power source, and then 1080p when attached, and that's it.
And all the hardware is in the tablet.
Yeah, as far as I know, that Switch Taco is just a power base.
Okay.
I could be wrong. All we have is this trailer. That's it.
Yeah, that's true. This is so cool. I almost want Nintendo to do more with this than just gaming. I
swear to God, I saw him watching a video.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So let's one more thing before like that I forgot to mention. We forgot to mention about the trailer was that like they were doing some like some weird planning stuff, and then they had esports.
Oh God!
Did you guys see the esports part?
God, the esports.
That was
Splatoon
so
esports.
cringy.
It's coming. It's coming.
I'm ready. Are you guys ready? You guys want to make a team? Let's go.
Yeah, let's all practice with our tiny iPads in the backstage before we get into big stage and plug it into our big black tacos.
And then epically dock our our tablet, our iPads onto our tacos.
Taco dock, Docos. Nice.
Tacos.
So many good names are coming out of this. This is like Nintendo doesn't even need to use like they use Switch because we will make up the names ourselves.
Yeah, they can keep it plain and simple.
Yeah, we could keep switching the names.
Oh my God.
Boo.
Oh God. Lame. So mediocre. Like these. I don't know. I mean, I guess you could, because it's technically going to be like a mobile using mobile parts and not some weird stuff that like no one knows about. Because I mean, the last gen consoles with the Xbox 360, the PlayStation 3, and the Wii, like no one really knew what was in those things. It's like they're not like computers or anything, right?
Yeah, it's not much of it analog you can compare it to.
Right.
Yeah, it took them half their lifespans for people to actually figure out how to really maximize the power.
And Sony
and Nintendo really threw us off by naming the gigs blocks. And we're like, what are these? I don't know what these are. Is this a gigabyte?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Everyone threw us off the set.
Yeah, like, but since like, well, I'm not gonna say off the shelf parts, but like, and especially given the Wii and the Wii U's history in cracking, and a lot of people liking to crack their devices, I'm willing to bet that someone's gonna load Android onto these tablets, like probably within 6 months after release, and then you could just use it like a regular tablet, which would be cool.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah,
get
free
Palm
Android tablet with your
Well, then once you
with
get
your Nintendo
Android on it,
Switch.
then you get just torrents and everything, right?
Well, that's always happened. You know how
But
it
when it's
is.
Android, that's like usually
It's
where those
easier.
directly come
It's
from.
Much easier.
yeah, a lot of piracy going on there, which is less than ideal for Nintendo.
This also makes me imagine, since the Switch is supposed to be using mobile parts, and we already have emulations for Android phones and such, does this mean we're going to
I know
get
where you're
an
going.
emulator of the Switch incredibly quickly?
It's I mean it's up to it depends on what Nintendo like what gets released and how the software is and how much Nintendo decides to lock it down. I mean we already mentioned earlier where the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 were basically, you know, computers, desktop
Yeah.
computers, but no one's really been able to create an emulator of those yet, you
Well, I
know?
mean, they are attempting, and they still gotten further than they have with the 360 emulators and such.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Uh, should we be talking about the games that are officially or unofficially announced for the Switch?
Right. So we already mentioned
3D
Skyrim,
Mario.
the new 3D Mario. That's the big one, right?
The Mario or
Yeah, 3D platformer Mario. We haven't had a new one since.
Galaxy? Oh no, there
No,
was
3D
stuff on the
World.
3DS.
3D. What was the one on the Wii U? There's one on the Wii U.
There was one on the Wii U.
Yeah, there
I
was
don't have a
four
Wii U.
players.
It was like a Super
Uh,
Mario, like a
I'm
party.
googling
Mario
it.
Party.
Super Mario 3D World.
That's a weird name.
It was a platformer for the 3DS. There were a bunch of Mario games on
Oh,
the
for the
3DS.
Wii U. Super Mario 3D World.
Well, we're talking about just like the home console type thing.
Oh,
Although,
Oh, okay.
yeah. I mean, we can't even call this a home console anymore.
It's an everywhere console.
It's someone else's home console. You can play it anywhere.
Like on the rooftop of your really trendy apartment.
Yeah, you could
Yeah.
put it inside of the hole in your roommate's closet and play it in there.
Side note. I've always wanted to live in like those apartments and commercials. They always look so like in such great areas and look so nice.
And probably costs a fortune per month.
Yeah, and like it's unrealistic that any young person would ever live in them.
Yep.
Yeah, that's about it. That's about right.
Hmm.
What other big news is coming out of this? I don't know. I'm just really excited to see where this goes. What do you guys like verdicts as far as like
I want it.
getting?
I want it so bad.
I want it.
Do
Because
you guys
now it
is
means
this the
that
one?
we don't have to worry about like with the Wii U and the 3DS, there were a bunch of games that would come on the Wii U but not the 3DS, and a bunch on the 3DS but not the Wii U. Like you would have to buy both in order to get the full library of games that came out on Nintendo systems. But now, since they're both on the same thing,
Yeah.
they are the same thing. You don't have to worry about a divided library within Nintendo.
That is
Oh,
the main
and
selling point for me.
Same.
And one more thing. Did you guys see the list of developers behind like the partners for Nintendo
Yeah, that
Switch?
doesn't mean anything because
No,
they'll
it doesn't.
jump off the
Yeah.
train as soon as shit goes south, just like the Wii U. Remember
But-
they made Batman Arkham City for the Wii U, and they made Black
Oh,
Ops
yeah.
2 for the
yeah,
Wii
with
U?
the armored suit. Yeah.
Yeah, Armored Edition, or that's what they called it, I believe.
They have. Well, I mean, but I mean, we could expect at least one game out of each of these developers, I assume, right?
Probably because they want to test the waters on how the Switch works.
I'm curious to see what From Software has to say.
Um,
Are we just gonna get a port of Dark
I'm-
Souls 3?
I'm
or
honestly expecting just a port of Dark Souls 3, since that would be the easiest thing to do, because everything else, all of their unannounced projects, because they have like 3 unannounced projects, I don't think that any of them would go first on the Switch because it's way too early into development.
Well, regardless, I do like I always like Nintendo's exclusives, anyways. So
True.
I haven't bought a Nintendo console in forever. I miss playing Nintendo games, really. Like they were always really fun.
Yes. It's a good cuteness and childishness that it's good to have a dose of.
amongst all the dark gray shootery, graphic-y stuff. Yeah.
Murder games.
Yeah. I mean, you get some of that with indie games, but it's not quite the same as Nintendo, like Nintendo stuff.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of partners here. Hopefully they stick with it. And I mean, if our impressions are anything to say, I mean it should sell pretty well.
Yeah.
I'm planning on getting it as soon as it comes out. If I have the extra cash.
No price though, right?
Yeah.
No price. What do you guys? Okay, so yeah. What do you guys think?
$350.
350? Ooh.
I mean, it looks small and it looks kind of small, don't it?
Yeah, I mean that has a lot to do with it, right? At the
How
same
much
time,
are tablets?
Depends on the tablet you want.
Okay, let me look up the NVIDIA gaming tablets.
The NVIDIA gaming tablets were pretty cheap, like 400, if I recall.
That's what I'm thinking.
At the max. I'm going to go with the conservative estimate of 450.
Do you have a hot take, Max?
Yeah. Well, we do our hot takes here.
This is like... Okay, so the Shield Tablet K1 from NVIDIA is $200.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm staying with 350.
Yeah, 300, 350, 400. Yeah, but hold on. What's the price of the PlayStation 4 Neo?
It's like the Neo, 500.
Yeah, the upcoming PS4 Pro.
Yeah, 500s. It can't be more than that. Right?
It's 400.
Right.
So it will be competitively priced.
PS4 Pro is 400.
PS4 Pro is 400? Oh, you're right, it is.
Oh, so what's the Neo? Was that the Xbox One thing?
No. The Neo is the Pro.
PlayStation 4 Pro.
The Neo is the Slim.
Neo.
The Neo is the Slim one.
Like okay. I'm getting things confused.
Wait, the Neo is the Slim?
I'm talking about the upgraded PS4.
Upgraded is 400.
Okay,
the
so
Slim is
it'll
300.
be competitively priced either way.
So yeah, it can't be more than 400, I would say.
Yeah.
That's crazy cheap though.
The fact that the name is now something completely different, the Switch as opposed to Wii U. Do you think it'll sell better just because the name doesn't seem like it's an add-on to an existing console?
I never really bought the argument that it didn't sell well because the naming was confusing. I think people could get past that.
No. I'm sorry.
Okay, I mean,
overestimating
definitely
people.
Wrong. People thought the Wii U was a Wii upgrade, as in
Like
an attachment
Okay, so I mean that's also Nintendo's fault because they had the Wii Plus, the Motion Plus.
They still use the same controllers. They still have the nunchucks.
Look.
It still looks the same. It's still white and glossy. It just has a U in front of it now. And the only difference that it looks like is just and it just looks like there's an iPad now. Is what you're buying at. Not a whole new thing.
Okay, so now it's
even back when the stuff was different, like going from the Game Boy Advance to the DS, people still got those two confused all the time, even though they didn't share the same name. So don't underestimate or don't overestimate people.
Yeah.
Don't underestimate people's stupidity. Yeah,
it's not their stupidity. If they did any amount of research, they could understand it. It's just that
they don't care.
They need the people that
have to research it.
They didn't have a clear distinction in the advertisement. And that's all they saw. So that's their first impression and the only impression.
Yeah.
Which is why that trailer continued to repeat the name.
This is the Switch.
Yeah. Nintendo Switch.
Oh, I love that logo design too.
I mean,
of the one thing coming up and down. With the little. I can't make that sound effect with my mouth, but I wish I could because it's such a good sound.
Yeah.
Nintendo kind of grew up. I want to say they kind of grew up today.
Yeah, it was good. That was so good.
It's very modern, very, very good. Yeah, I mean, I don't think people will get confused. I mean, I'm sure people will anyways. Just like people are going to get confused about Samsung in the next few years, basically. I feel sorry for anyone owning. I mean, Max, you own a
regular S7, but I've heard that if you own basically any modern Samsung smartphone and try to go into an airport, you're gonna have a hard time because
they don't know the difference.
When the companies tell their employees don't allow Samsung phones on planes, a lot of them don't actually specifically mention the Note 7. They just say maybe the Galaxy 7, which doesn't exist. If Galaxy 7 could stand for either S7 or Note 7, which kind of screws over people who have the non-exploding phone.
I wonder if this is more like this is Samsung's fault than people's fault, because like their naming system is very annoying, because you already have the brand name, right? It's a Samsung, right? And then you have the sub brand name Galaxy, and then you have to subdivide even further between the S or the Note or whatever the hell it is.
And they both look the same besides size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like I always tell the story of like, hey, do you have an Android phone charger, like a micro USB charger? And he's like, oh, you have a Samsung phone, right? And I look at my Sony phone and I'm like, sure.
Yeah, because it's like, for your purposes, it's the same thing.
I just need to charge my phone. Like,
yeah,
come on, just give me the cable. And like, people don't want to they like, oh, do you have an iPhone or a Galaxy phone? I'm like, they don't really ask if you have an Android phone or anything. So I suspect Samsung, I don't know what they're going to do, because people are stupid and their brand is not going to recover from this for a very long time.
Yeah. Well, also, I think part of the issue was that Samsung was trying to appeal too much to the people who wanted better batteries, who wanted a phone that performs even better than the previous generation, but also has a better battery life. So they basically threw in an experimental battery that blows up.
Clearly, it doesn't blow up though. It just kind of catches on fire.
And
it only catches on fire.
It only catches on fire, especially if you attach it to your face.
Well, it doesn't do that. It's just people were getting pretty hyperbolic about it though. I was kind of looking at it. I mean, I get it. It's pretty dangerous and stuff.
I've heard stories of it blowing up or at least catching a fire. That the chances are higher when you're using Gear VR mode.
Yeah, people were people were getting pretty mad. They were like, "Oh my god, why didn't Samsung fix this? They're making me literally attach a bomb to my face." And I'm like, dude, chill.
I mean, I understand that. Like, if you have a phone that's gonna
catch on fire
in your pocket, you don't
want to put it in your face.
Out.
It's not gonna explode though. It's just gonna start smoking and catch fire.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's kind of interesting because they're the biggest people on the market other than Apple right now in terms of smartphones.
And this is going to really hurt their majority share. Or it's going to really hurt their percentage hold over the smartphone market.
Are you sure? Because I mean, I don't know how happy people are about the iPhone these days with the lack of headphone jack.
But this is a prime opportunity for Apple to say, "Oh, hey, go switch to our phones because ours don't set your pants on fire."
Look, I would. I'm so fed up with Android these days. It's crazy. Like I love my Android phone, but like,
you speak heresy.
Yeah, I do. I just want a phone that lasts a really long time, and I could text my friends without dealing with SMS.
iPhones don't really last a long time. Not in my experience, at the very least. Might have an increase in sales because the Samsung phones now have a reputation for blowing up or at least being set on fire because of the battery. And even though it's just a Note 7, the actual S7 did have those issues at launch. And because the Note 7 issue was big enough on the news, it means the entire Samsung brand is tarnished.
Oh yeah, like there's no especially with the consumers being all confused about Samsung phones in the first place. They're just gonna think that all Android phones really all Android phones are gonna catch on fire. Like I was talking to my classmate earlier, I think last week, right?
Yeah.
And like I didn't really mention it before, but I saw that he got like a S7 Edge a while back, but I didn't really mention it to him earlier until like recently. I'm like, oh, dude, you got an S7 Edge, S7 Edge? Nice. He's like, yeah, it's not the one that catches on fire. I promise. I'm like, oh man, that sucks. Like he's probably had to say that so many times. You know? How many? I mean, how about you? Have you had to has like your mom like burst into your room saying, "We need to return your phone now"?
No. Like, let's see. You know, I'm Korean. My parents are Korean. They see Korean news, so they already know exactly which Samsung phone it is because since I'm pretty sure like half of the news companies in Korea are bought off by Samsung, they're
Well,
going
then
to
I'm
make
surprised
sure.
that they covered it at all.
Well, I mean, it's big enough they can't hide it. So when they do talk about it, they specifically do mention which Samsung phone it is.
I see.
Because Koreans believe that Samsung is their only link to having a decent economy.
Well, don't they count up like add up to like 30% of South Korea's economy?
Or something like that, because the government invested all of its money in a handful of companies. It worked out back when the economy was bad, but might bite them back in the future. I don't know.
Didn't that happen in World War II with Italy?
I
But I mean, it was obviously a different time. Sorry, my history is really bad.
I don't remember. Italy was never really covered all that much in the high school history books, mostly because they lost immediately.
Right. Yeah. Anyways, it's just it's a bad situation for Samsung, and a lot of people are gonna lose their jobs. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah, especially the engineers behind the batteries.
Yeah.
Ooh. Good luck with them. Their resume is literally burning down.
Oh man. Yeah, I feel sorry for those guys who had to like deal with it.
Yeah.
Like the engineers and stuff.
Or the
and I think
maybe? Or maybe even just the PR guys.
Maybe they'll probably be like dead. I don't know. It's kind of cutthroat over in that world, in the corporate world. So
yeah.
Heads will roll.
Oh yeah.
In other news, Google's Pixel is out. Have you heard of this?
Is that Google's phone or?
Yeah, I mean, like I ask this because I know you don't really keep up with like tech news like 100% of the time. I'm sure.
A handful of times a week or a month, but yeah, not daily.
Yeah, so I'm kind of curious because I know I'm like completely immersed, right, head to toe to like in the tech news. So I'm kind of curious to see how much you've heard about the Pixel so far.
I never even heard of the name until right now. I knew Google was making a new phone, using their own tech, but I didn't even know the name of it.
Yeah, that's not good.
For Google?
Well, I mean, because look, they've been marketing it heavily, and people have been saying, this is gonna be it. Google's finally in the phone game,
But if I don't know about it, then what's the chances that the regular mainstream guys have any idea that Google even made a new phone?
Yeah, that's it, right? Like,
yeah, clearly they're not advertising strongly enough,
or something. I don't know. I mean, that's how Samsung got it. They just brute forced it, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like,
they just marketed the hell out of their phones.
They need to market until they're basically in the red with their budget, because otherwise, people aren't going to find out. It doesn't matter if you spend.
It worked for Samsung. It worked for Samsung. Like from the S3 to the S5, like they were pushing super hard.
Yeah, and
it worked.
Now the Galaxies were, if not are, main part of the Android lines.
Yeah, exactly. Like they are the face of Android, basically. So now we have, now the old king is dead. Who's going to be the new king? Who's going to be the new king, Max?
Well,
is Google going to be the new king? We don't know, because I mean, you obviously haven't heard of their phone. Like,
it's like Google's running for president and doesn't even announce itself as a candidate.
I guess. I mean, well, they're supposed to. I mean, the phone's gotten great reviews. The Verge has rated it highly. Mossberg, all those guys. Like everyone's saying that this is a great phone. It's the best Android phone you could buy right now.
Oh, and it's able to use Google's own VR. I hope.
Well,
Guess
yeah,
so.
of course, yeah, and
Because
stuff like
Google
that.
made its own VR recently, haven't they?
It's
With
like a
their
VR
own controller.
platform called. It's a platform. It's a VR. Oh yeah, and it has. They have their own their headset now. It's like $80, and it comes free with the phone if you buy it. Uh, whatever. So yeah. But it's just kind of strange how like this we're I think we're in like a weird point in phones right now. I mean, the Pixel's great,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone's saying it's great, but to me at least, I don't think there's any good phones out there right now.
Can you
Like
elaborate?
Samsung is dead, right?
If they can't recover, yeah.
Apple is kind of like people don't really want to get a new iPhone because it had no headphone jack.
Uh huh.
Um, what else? Like, so and those are the two big guys, right?
Yeah.
Samsung and Apple. Like, and now no one's there. And who's gonna make the big phone, like the phone that everyone buys?
Yeah, because
I mean, I'm sure
everything
everyone's gonna. I mean, let's not delude ourselves. It's still the iPhone 7, right?
probably.
People are just gonna get it regardless. So, but I mean, if anyone wanted a reason to switch, it'd be right now, right?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good time to switch, and I'm sure a lot of people were thinking, "Hey, I want a headphone jack on my iPhone. I'm gonna switch from the iPhone to a Note 7."
Whoop. Yeah, and
Yeah,
that didn't turn out to be all that hot. Well, I
yeah,
mean, this turned out to be pretty hot.
yeah. So it's just a bad situation all around. I mean, I don't know. I'm curious to see where the market goes as far as market share goes for Samsung, Apple, and Google in the next few years.
Well, in terms of
Because
stock
maybe
market,
people are starting to get older, get like tired of their iPhones. Who knows?
I mean, the fact that the iPhone is more of a piece of fashion than it is, a phone. Yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't.
for most people, it's like just a necessity. It's like something you need to go out in the morning, right? It's like your shoes,
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter what shoes they are, really, but I mean, a lot of people wearing Converses or Vans or whatever, so just get those, right? I mean, they must be pretty good if everyone's getting them. And honestly, the iPhones are great, like hardware wise, and software wise, even. Like, there's nothing you can't go wrong with one.
Yeah, it's because both hardware and software is made by the same group, so they know all the ins and outs, as opposed to the Android guys, in which they use an OS made by someone else. Which also leads back to the Google Pixel, doesn't it? Since Google knows everything about the software and the hardware of what they're making, they could make the best Android phone.
I'm curious to see who, if anyone, will be able to take the crown away from Samsung as
What
far
about
as
the
the giant.
Nexus phones? Because the Nexus phones are well known for being
Oh
decently
boy!
priced.
Oh, my sweet summer child. Here's the thing: Google killed the Nexus, and now the Nexus is Pixel.
Oh,
That's very confusing, isn't it?
yeah, but so, because I know a lot of people who have Nexus.
Oh, really? Interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
are they all the tech? Are they the techie type of people, or
No,
like
no, 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 no,
regular?
no, 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 no. They're not the techie kind of people.
Oh,
Unless
interesting.
unless playing Smash Bros is considered techie.
I mean, you're kind of into that sort of stuff. I mean, like the overlap of people who know about their phones, the overlap of people who do research and the people who play Smash, or the people who do research on their tech stuff and the people who play Smash, is probably pretty high.
Um, from personal experience, speaking as the president of my Smash Bros. Club, I would disagree.
Oh, interesting. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Curious. I don't know. I mean, I'm used to being in like in immersed in all that sort of
But
stuff. So
there are a
like,
lot of
I
people who are
assume.
immersed in video games, but only in very few specific video games, and not at all in the tech world. So
Curious. Okay. Okay. Cool. In that case, well, okay. Hmm. All right. Well, anyways, so yeah, so maybe there's hope after all. Then maybe people are gonna start buying those instead. I mean, I do see a lot of people with Nexus is and stuff, But I mean, it's hard for me to get a grasp of who exactly is buying a Nexus, because I mean, the only people I've seen with Nexuses really in like are people at my school, first off, and people who are computer science majors. So like, you know,
true, but
they're the people who would know about stuff.
I've heard the Nexus is cheaper than the Galaxies, and that's a huge part of it, apparently.
It used to be that way, where the Nexus phone was, my Nexus 4 was $250 unlocked and all that stuff.
Okay.
But the price has only gone up recently as of and now the Pixel phones are the same price as an iPhone.
All right.
So I mean, choice is yours if you want an iPhone or a Pixel. I mean, hardware wise and stuff, if you want, the two best phones out there right now are the the Pixel, and the iPhone 7. Those are the two phones you're gonna get if you do your research. But I don't know if that's what people are going to be recommending in stores or the carriers. You know, at like at the AT&T store, are people going to be just like, okay, I want an Android phone, which one should I get? Does the guy give you the Samsung or do they give you the Pixel? That's the question.
Probably Samsung, or maybe not. Just
see, this is what I'm talking about.
Like okay. Before this Note 7 controversy, it would have been obvious immediately Samsung because of brand awareness. It would have been the easy sell. But now, because of Note 7, brand awareness bites them in the ass.
Yeah, that's it.
This is going to be actually pretty interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you, dude. It's going to be an interesting next year. This year is, we already know how it's going to go.
The year is nearly ending.
Yeah, so next year is where it's at.
What about LG phones?
LG phones. So in the Android world, LG phones have become notorious for their boot loop issue, where
what do you mean boot loop?
They keep turning on and off and on and off and on and off, and they don't get out of that loop, and then the phone's dead.
I guess that's bad. But I wanted to talk a little bit about LG phones, if you don't mind.
Sure. What's crossed your mind?
Remember the LG phone in which you're able to detach the bottom and attach a new module to it?
The G5. The G5 was LG's flagship phone. Yeah.
Okay. So, that was a phone that my dad got when he was in Korea. It's pretty cool. You know, attach a battery to it or whatnot. Apparently, it sold like shit. And LG almost immediately dropped support and then announced the LG V20.
Yeah, the V20 is their, like, I don't know, maybe it's their new flagship
which
now.
Which apparently has better hardware than any of the modules besides camera and battery.
This happened last year too, actually. They last year LG announced the G4, and then later in the year they announced the V10, and the V10 was really well received. The G4 was also well received. Like, if the G4 was an 8 out of 10, the V10 was a 9 out of 10. So, like, it should be par for the course as far as LG phones go. Will it be good? Who knows? It's kind of weird because the G5, the G series is generally LG's like flagship, but maybe that's shifting to be the V series.
It does seem like it because of how well received the V10 was, but it's just, he feels that they could have tried to do something to save it, because the fact that you're able to switch out modules means that the phone could have a longevity in which instead of replacing the whole phone, you just replace the
camera
or like part of the hardware.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I don't know. There wasn't much you could do there. I mean, what could you add to the phone as far as LG parts go? You could add an audio file thing where there's like a little
and
headphone amplifier.
The V20 already has better audio processing than the audio module of the G5, and that's what really pissed him off because he spent full money on the audio module apparently.
Oh yeah, because your dad's he does music, right?
Well, he listens to a ton of music.
Yeah.
He is an audiophile, so that really irked him the wrong way. But I do see why it failed, because it's just cumbersome to have to because the module isn't smoothly in, it protrudes out the back.
Also, there's the chicken and egg scenario where you don't know if people are going to make modules or and people aren't going to make modules if they don't know if enough people have bought the phone.
That is true. Kind of like with online games, how an online game doesn't survive without players. So players don't buy it in fear of there's not going to be any players, and it just decreases. It's a spiral.
Yeah. I don't know. I sent a picture to our good friend Ben Wilson of the hole in my roommate's ceiling, by the way.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, it looks kind of small.
Does that mean he has a bigger hole in his closet or something?
I don't know. It's just a joke. So yeah, how does your dad like the G5 otherwise though? I was curious about it.
Camera's good, although the field of view, because with the camera module you get to have 2 cameras. Has some crazy field of view. You know how when you set field of view to like 130, 150 in a video game? Yeah, the fisheye lens in which the sides seem huge.
Yeah.
You could get that. So when taking a picture, often the arm looks far bigger than the head.
That's kind of funny. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, so we often not use a camera module on that thing. In terms of the audio module, like, my ears can't really hear much better than, say, what I'm listening to on a regular basis, mostly because they haven't tuned to extremely high quality stuff. So it more or less sounds the same to anything else. To me, I don't know how it sounds like to true audiophiles because I'm still a casual. What else? Battery, I don't know about that. Probably more battery, but all in all, it does seem cumbersome.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, so that's probably
why. I don't know. But the phone itself is fine, I assume.
Yeah. The real issue is how the V20 was announced like 2 months after he bought it or something like that.
Oh man, that sucks. That does suck. Yeah, it's kind of weird because in the Android world, like after 4 months, you really shouldn't consider that phone because something good is around the corner. If like the first half of the year you buy the Samsung phone, the second half of the year you buy the Google phone. True, it's kind of weird. Yeah,
it's just that he was extremely hopeful for the whole module thing, and so was I. I thought, well, maybe this closes some of the gap between phones and PCs. And they tried to build that bridge and it only burned down. So
you have much to learn, Padawan. To truly understand, to truly be like a tech enthusiast, you must not only learn the tech itself, but you have to learn market trends and market data.
And market trends seem to say that PCs and phones shouldn't go together.
It's more like you don't have support. I mean, like if Samsung did it, maybe, but since LG did it and they're kind of a smaller guy. And while I do certainly, I applaud their innovation, can't go anywhere without support.
And that is why they're just sticking with the conventional stuff with the V20.
Yeah, I mean, if it's as long as you can remove the battery and add storage, I'm okay.
Yeah, and the fact that you could, remove the battery and put in a new one means they won't have the same issue as a Note 7.
Hey.
Though, to be fair, Note 7's battery was experimental, in which a bunch of hardware was built around the battery, as opposed to battery just being next to the hardware. So, yeah.
Cool. Any other big news or anything you want to talk about this week before we get into what we've been checking out lately?
Any big news? Honestly, I don't recall anything.
There's new Red Dead Redemption coming out soon.
True, but I haven't played the first one, mostly because it never came out on PC.
Yeah,
and one is also not announced for PC.
I fully expect it to be on PC by 2019 or 2020.
Fair enough.
But it'll be exactly like. Well, it's just going to be exactly like GTA 5, where they announce it they release it like a year later after it comes out.
Well, the thing about GTA 5 though was because they were working on the PS4 and Xbox One versions, and they wanted the PC to coincide with those. Since Red Dead Redemption 2 is being made for the current generation, and they don't have to worry about the next generation of consoles, I feel like it might not be as much of a delay. There's probably still going to be a delay since it's Rockstar, but I doubt it'll be as long.
I mean, I'm sure we'll get a PC version eventually, because I think what's going to happen, and I mean, call me cynical, but Rockstar is like, are you sure people want a Red Red Redemption? I'm not sure. Well, I don't want to devote all of our resources to it, so we'll just get it for the consoles for now. And if they buy it, then we'll probably get a PC version going. Well, that's probably what happened in the boardroom meeting.
Yeah. Although with the previous one, as long as they, understand that you should never write code without leaving at least a few comments, because that's actually apparently why Red Dead Redemption never got a PC version.
Oh,
because there were no comments in any of the lines, so the port team had no idea what they were looking at.
I agree. You do need your comments, otherwise no one can read your code.
Yep. I learned at least that much back when I was taking computer science. So
yeah, I learned that a lot, especially in the past few weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, well, I guess we'll it's about time for us to check out before we do. Max, what have you been checking out?
Besides human skeletons, for art class, nothing. A bit of grinding, trying to get a few skins for that Overwatch Halloween update.
Cool. Yeah, it's a fun time. Yeah. We'll try some after the podcast.
All right. We are planning to play the Division sometime over the weekend, right?
Possibly. Ooh, and Star Citizen.
Ooh, the free flight weekend. Yeah. Finally being able to actually play at a frame rate higher than 2 per minute.
Yeah. Instead, it'll be 3 per minute. Yeah, we got lots to look forward to. I want to hear your thoughts about it once after we check it out.
All right.
As for anything else from you, reading or watching or otherwise?
Nothing
Any TV
really.
shows?
TV shows? No, nothing really.
Okay. On my end, I haven't been playing much because I've been kind of busy, but I do try to get some time for Overwatch. A little bit of Battlefield now and then, just because it's a solid shooter. I might get Battlefield 1. I really want to try out the new Stardew Valley update because I like Stardew Valley, but I don't know if I have time for that. A bit of Star Citizen now and again, just for the funds. And yeah, that's kind of like it, really. I started watching Westworld. HBO's it's an HBO show. It's about basically it's a, can you imagine Red Dead Redemption, but it's in real life, and instead of NPCs, they're robots, I guess.
I'm having. Wait, let me actually just Google that to see.
Westworld is also it was also an old movie from a long time ago, which was a lot more upbeat.
So I see like a silver person on a wheel.
Yeah, that's kind of. I mean, that's how they make the robots, but for another time. And
it's
also
a Western with robots.
No, because it's a virtual reality game basically. It's video game. It's a video game where you role play.
Okay.
And I've also checked out Donald Glover's Atlanta.
All right.
It's pretty cool. Pretty good comedy, actually, surprisingly so, and some good writing there. Bit of social commentary, because like one of the main characters goes into, he like spends the night in jail, right? And he kind of learns how kind of broken the prison system is there. Because like there's this guy who's like obviously mentally ill, and the cops are like, yeah, we see him like every week, and the character's like, you've been arresting this guy every week? Shouldn't he be in like a mental hospital?
Yeah.
So like it has some like social commentary, which I thought was kind of cool. Yeah, that's about it for us this week. I would love to ask Taylor what he's checking out, because I'm sure he has a lot to tell us, but unfortunately his internet checked out. Yeah, for him. One of the downsides of living in a house with like 9 other people. So.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, internet's sketchy. You just do everything on campus, or you just don't have to worry about the internet because you have other things to do. But who does that?
Life outside the internet? I have never heard of such a thing.
Yeah, well, we're going to return to our lives. So thank you for listening. If you want to check out this awesome, fire beat, you can check out Grant Webster's SoundCloud link in the video description. Max, do you have anything coming out of your channel?
I didn't have any time to work on my videos.
You and me both, my friend.
I still got like 2 hours of unused Rust footage.
Oh, I actually do want to see. I really do want to see what you do with that. Watching you play Rust is pretty entertaining, in my opinion. You really should watch it, guys. I was crying. Like that's not a joke. I was actually crying. If his videos were crap, I would tell him. So believe me, these are pretty good. And if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can follow Taylor at @tkelsey. You can follow me at @JamesLee. I tweet about spooky skeletons all the time. I'm just kidding. No, yeah. If you want to check us out, we don't have any articles because we've been so busy. I apologize, but it's addendum.com. You can check out our articles there. It's an archive now. But I'm trying. Maybe if I ever find time, I'll try to get some articles up, or maybe even the podcast, like RSS stream. But without further ado, thank you for listening. On behalf of the now absent Taylor, Max, and myself, we'll see you next time.